It's 10 o'clock. Good morning, everybody. I'm Ron Hoon, and this is Fox 10 Talks. Now, look, not everybody got the wallop in our state yesterday, but plenty of people did. And if you were in those areas where you were really hard hit as the rain came pounding, I mean, you can get a light rain, you can get a rain that's pouring, or you can get a rain that's pounding. And that is exactly what we were dealing with, particularly out in the Far East Valley. Hey, those windshield wipers were doing their best to keep up, but maybe your best move was to pull off the road yesterday. This was in that area between East Mesa and Apache Junction, and it was absolutely pouring. And that is just one of several places across the Metro Phoenix area that we had more storm activity. And it's like Mother Nature's making up for lost time. What's the phrase that we all knew for the last 2, maybe 3 years? Everybody was jokingly calling the monsoon the non-soon because we needed the rain. We don't want the damage, that's for sure. We don't even want treacherous driving conditions like what you saw right there. But boy, we do need the rain, and we have really been getting it. Krystal was showing us, in fact, she's going to join here in about 2 minutes. She was showing us a map on the air this morning. It was very kind of hopscotch, where you had Apache Junction, I think, pushing a half an inch of rain, maybe 4/10. And then there was a measuring station way up in the North Valley, kind of on the Phoenix-Scottsdale border up there at about the 101 and 56th Street, that also just got hammered. And yet you could be living in the central part of the city and not have received even an inch of rain. But then when we saw what the winds were doing, that was just one more example of what you have to be prepared to deal with. Look what happened in this lady's backyard. This is Selena Gallagher in Maricopa. You'll see it right the way she saw it.
Oh my God.
Yeah, how about that? I mean, it knocked that tree, and that's not a little tree either. It knocked that tree right over, and I was trying to look at, it is in her neighbor's backyard. And it doesn't look like it hit the house. Thank goodness for that, because some of these trees, especially these eucalyptus, they grow so fast. And the next thing you know, they do create all kinds of problems if they come down, but it doesn't look like it did any damage. But if you've lived here it is. One more time. One more time. God. Yeah. All right. So, Selena, thank you. Thanks to everybody. Matter of fact, I think I can roll one more VO for you right here, just in terms of just take a look at that, would you? I mean, that rain is not just coming down in a perpendicular fashion. The way the winds are moving it around, it is really whipping around. That's Mike Gibson. And check it out. This is all the way up there around the 51 and Union Hills. So no, it wasn't just the Far East Valley. And ladies and gentlemen, Krystal joins us, as she's been so kind to do over the last several days. She lives out there. You've talked about it on the air, out there in Gilbert. You weren't that far from AJ, Apache Junction, and you got zip.
Yeah, so I am closer to like the Gilbert Chandler area, and what a difference just like what a 15-minute drive can make, because folks more on the outskirts of town got pounded with rain. I know yourself included.
Yes.
And then we got a lot of wind. We got some dust, and I kept thinking, oh, are we going to get the rain? But it skirted right around us, unfortunately.
And of course, I know what the audience wants. They want to know what Syleste experienced.
Oh, yes, I'm sure that's what's on everyone's mind.
Because here's the thing. I represent the super far East Valley.
Yes.
Krystal represents more of the closer in East Valley.
Yes.
And you represent the heart of the city. What happened for you?
We had crazy wind, rain, dust, and a lot of rain. It really, I put some video on my Instagram, Syleste Fox 10.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Well, I'm so glad you brought that up, because let me just roll one more, because it was not anywhere clearly as defined as the last one, the big one that we had about a week ago. But check out this wall of dust. And this is from, you really can't, it's beyond the valley, really. It's almost a Casa Grande. It's Maricopa. And that is so often where we see this dust start to kick up. And we also had some video there from folks driving around trying to deal with it. Somebody told me there's video out there of the last plane that managed to land at Sky Harbor, literally racing the monsoon dust clouds and coming down. But we were rolling. Our viewers, Ashley, for example, was rolling right there. We had some great video from our tower cam as well. And sure enough, APS and SRP, they had customers lose power, but boy, do they do a great job trying to get everybody's power restored. So, Krystal, what's your big take on what we experienced yesterday?
You always go to whenever we get some storms. It was not, like you mentioned, as big as the previous week.
Right.
But can I just say, I was just looking at the chat box, and I've never seen a more Arizona comment than it's saying, I was just about to put on my carne asada when it hit my house last night. I love that, Christine.
That's so great.
Yeah, so funny. I love it.
Oh, my gosh.
Do we want to look at some totals from yesterday?
Let's do
All
it.
right,
We're
let's
going to
pop
pull your
up the
weather
graphics.
maps up right now.
Okay, so there's a look at your one-day rain totals. So this is from Maricopa County Flood Control District. Love them over there. They share their data with us. And you can see that this is interesting because even though rain did pass through the valley, there weren't a lot of big numbers with the exception of kind of like the edges of the valley. So right around a third of an inch reported in the Apache Junction, East Mesa area. And then almost immediately as you got into the East Valley, you see it's more like a few hundredths of an inch reported. And then parts of Scottsdale anywhere from 16 hundredths to about a quarter of an inch reported nearing downtown Phoenix. Third of an inch up in far north Scottsdale. And then same thing, a few hundredths of an inch stretching to the West Valley. So we did have those showers, dust, wind pass through the entire valley, but only some spots got like the good hits. But it sounds like both of you guys lucked out getting some nice hits of rain out there. So yeah, those were the totals that we got from yesterday's storm. But we've still got a lot more to cover, guys, because I think I'll be a featured guest on your show the rest of the week.
Is that right?
I have a feeling.
Mark your calendars.
Just a little feeling. We have chances of this kind of on-off scattered activity for us, not just later today, but again tomorrow. Both today and tomorrow are similar to yesterday, where it's going to be hit or miss. Yesterday, there was a chance that conditions were going to come together just right, and we were going to kind of miss out on maybe the rain, but get some of the wind or dust. That'll be the case for the next couple of days.
What about the common thinking, though, that when you get a storm, it clears the energy right out of the area? I'd always heard that. Is that more of an old wives' tale?
No, that's definitely true.
Okay.
So we look at something called CAPE, which is like the energy in our atmosphere, to see if we have enough to kind of fire off those storms.
Okay.
And it is true that sometimes when you get like a big boom one day, the next day it's sort of quiet.
Right.
But in this scenario, the whole valley didn't get pounded, right? So there are parts of the valley that probably have a little better likelihood, but also heating of the day can help kind of re-energize our atmosphere. And it still looks super hot today. We're forecasting a high of 107. So we're not writing things off today or tomorrow when it comes to storm chances. We're kind of in that isolated to scattered territory.
So we do have a question from Patricia this morning. She says, is La Nina coming back this year?
That's
Oh, wow.
great
Switching
question.
gears. Switching gears.
Yeah.
The last check I saw, that it was something that's being watched, but there wasn't any firm discussion on it yet.
Yeah.
But right now, not in that territory yet.
Can folks may be watching or hanging or listening, and they may not know what La Nina is. So what is La Nina? What is La Nina El Nino?
Oh, okay. Wow, we're totally switching gears from that. So La Nina is typically it's a global weather pattern. It's either warmer or cooler than average sea surface temperatures in the ocean and the Pacific. It's tracked, and then 3-month spells are what we consider the indicator of a La Nina or El Nino developing. But it has to do with ocean temps, the way those ocean temps impact the way storms develop in Mexico, and then how that moisture kind of impacts the U.S. as well. So typically during a La Nina, we have a little better chance for winter weather.
Right.
It's so funny because we all just talk about the monsoon, but Patricia makes a great point here because the whole country, I think, really pays attention to a La Nina or an El Nino year.
Yeah.
Sure,
Okay.
yeah. And it's not always a guarantee. Global weather patterns just are kind of give some indication, but they certainly don't give any guarantee. If we remember a few years ago, we were under, the triple dip year, and we ended up having like a huge boom. So, it's just interesting to track. All right, let's get back to the forecast. Rain coverage outlook for the Valley Thursday and Friday is when we are looking at more scattered to widespread action. And then Saturday, we are back to more isolated scattered action. So Thursday and Friday are our big days that we are watching. This is the look at the Futurecast for today. And this is just one model projection, as we always point out, but it shows scattered storms developing in northern Arizona, but also southern Arizona. And as you can see, this model kind of has a more westerly tilt to those storms. Depending on where they exactly fire off, if they're closer to Tucson, this could kick up some dust. But in the Gila Bend area, that may end up bringing some storms this evening into the West Valley, as you're seeing on this model. Then we look forward to Thursday, Friday, the better storm chances because of this, which is Tropical Storm Lorena sitting off the west coast of Mexico with winds at 45 miles per hour right now. But the latest cone of concern put out by the National Hurricane Center has it powering up to a Category 1 hurricane just off the tip of the Baja by Wednesday evening into Thursday morning. Now, it getting more powerful is a good indicator of more moisture pluming and sending our direction. And then notice the hook here. Yeah, so that would help send more tropical moisture our way as we go into the weekend. And when this hooks and how powerful it is will certainly decide how much rain we can potentially get out of this. But that is why we've got those storm chances increasing both Thursday and Friday. So that's kind of what we're watching for as we head towards the end of the week. Let's see if I can pull up.
Hey, by the way, while you're working on that, I just got to give a shout out to RLS Vids. This is another Arizona type comment. You know, it cleared up in Gilbert last night just in time to grill some green chili brats.
Yep. Ooh, that sounds so good.
Green chili brats?
That sounds like a
delicious.
Fox 10 barbecue party.
I think we need the recipe.
There you go. That's a look at the Futurecast, and you can see that it's got, as we go into the later part of the week, see that moisture starting to move up right into Arizona. This is Thursday morning, but more moving up towards us Thursday into Friday, and eventually by Saturday it'll start to hook, it looks like, off to the east of us. But certainly something to watch, guys.
Can we give a big shout out to Joseph Hawk, who is watching from Australia this morning?
Ooh.
Isn't that amazing?
Nice.
All right. Well, welcome, Joseph. Good to hear from you, my friend.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like we have a couple of folks joining us from Australia today. It's a worldwide audience, Krystal.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, thanks, and we will we'll reserve. By the way, that was just a preview. Don't get excited, folks.
Did you say how excited Dave was?
Right now, here we go. Mystery Cam. Krystal, thanks a million.
Thanks, Krystal.
Here we go. Give us your guesses. Celeste, I've been proved right in my supposition a moment ago. We also have another Australian viewer this morning.
Okay.
This is Lynette McConnell.
Hi, Lynette.
And she jumped in just a couple of minutes before our other Australian viewer. She said, good morning over there from Australia. It's 1:07 in the afternoon.
Wow.
So, Lynette, thank you very much.
Maybe Lynette and Joseph, if you are both single, you can get together and watch together.
Yeah.
You know, we also double as a dating site. We're kind of like Tinder, but on the stream.
In the meanwhile, if you're currently watching our streaming show with your spouses, we're sorry about that.
We also support strong marriages, just so you know.
Okay. Oh, let's see. I think we are, Celeste, going to be going right into our next story here this morning. We have one of our, whether you're watching in Australia or right down the street from us here in downtown Phoenix, let me just share with you, we have Dominique all set and ready to go. She's on the phone. She had quite a story this morning. We've been having a lot of problems with street racing here in the Valley.
Oh, my goodness.
And yesterday it really had some consequences. Dom, good morning. What did you learn from early this morning?
Good morning, Ron and Celeste. Yeah, you're right. I feel like we have had some issues recently, but a lot in Tempe. And so this case that happened last night around 8 o'clock, a motorcycle and a Mustang, they were racing westbound along Rio Salado Parkway. And the Mustang, they were trying to turn. They failed, ended up crashing, and 5 people were inside of that car. They were all ejected from it. And we're told, though, we got an update this morning, all those patients, they are in stable condition. They have non-life-threatening injuries. But, of course, this investigation is still ongoing. And the rider of the motorcycle, he or she, we still don't know yet, returned to the scene. But Rio Salado, they were closed westbound for several hours because of this. And also, what's interesting in some of the video that our photojournalist got was that Mustang crashed into one of those speed detector signs. So it was an unfortunate case, but kind of ironic because those are there, you know, obviously to track speed, to take pictures of the license plate, and it ended up crashing into one of those.
Come on. What are the odds of that? I mean, the sign is down. Now, nobody was seriously hurt, though, were they, Dom?
Correct. No one was seriously hurt. They're all stable right now. No life-threatening injuries.
Yeah. Give us the cross streets again on it, because I think a lot of people do either live in Tempe or drive through Tempe. Rio Salado at about where?
It was westbound, kind of, and I think about like Rural Road as well.
Okay, yeah, sure.
So not too far from Arizona State University, really, kind of in that area around Tempe Marketplace.
Yeah.
So there were several people taken to the hospital, you said, right, Dom?
Yes, all 5 that were inside of the Mustang were.
Wow.
That is so crazy. And it is a situation, I think, that is going on in several cities around the Valley. I know we live Central Phoenix. We'll hear them zipping up and down McDowell.
Really?
Yeah, they're that loud.
But they are really trying to do special enforcement in Tempe to knock this problem down, right, Dom?
Yeah, they are. You know, Tempe Police, they began Operation Street Sweep. That was on June 14th, so just a couple months ago, really kind of kicking off summer to try to crack down on all that illegal street racing. They've also had a separate Operation Silent Night that started in March, went towards May. And, you know, when we were driving there to the scene, it was since cleared, but those roads, they are very wide. So Frank K., who I'm with, we were joking, like, this is a pretty good street to do, you know, street racing. Of course, don't do it. It's super dangerous, but those streets were very wide there. So, you know, maybe if they're not familiar with the area, we're not sure if they're locals or not, but they saw that opportunity. But they're still, it's a windy road. It's a busy area.
You know, RLS Vids in the chat. Dom says how wild that the driver actually crashed into the sign that said
isn't that
you're
the truth?
You're on camera.
And the other thing, Dom, is I think maybe some people are not aware. It's a felony in Arizona just to do this, just to engage in street racing like this.
Yeah, and it's just so dangerous. You know, especially in busy areas like that, you have pedestrians walking by, so if you lose control, there's risk you could hit a pedestrian, of course, other cars. It's just not worth it.
All right, that's our Dom Newland.
Great job, Dom.
She does such a great job for us on the morning show.
Great job this morning, Dom.
She covers it all, the good news and the bad news. But speaking of more bad news, how about this? We wanted to follow up on a story that we had from just a little while back here. There, you can see right here, this is a case that's going to be in the news today. You can watch Fox 10 later in the day on the stream or on TV. The man accused of basically being a killer, of creating a deadly wrong-way crash on a valley freeway is going to enter his plea. Joseph Rawlins, 44 years old. He's facing a second-degree murder charge. In Arizona, we've had so many problems with wrong-way drivers. And by the way, look at how that vehicle was just obliterated. DPS said that he was driving drunk on the wrong way of the 202, sideswiped one car near Priest, hit a second vehicle head-on, killing 21-year-old Emma Huckleberry, who had her whole life in front of her. But the weird thing is, the first vehicle he hit, that driver fled the scene, even though it wasn't even his fault.
I know, and I wonder if maybe there was something else that they were,
Yes.
Possibly under the influence or something.
You
bring up a good point, though, that young woman, Emma.
Yeah.
Her whole life she had ahead of her.
21 years old. And if you drive in the overnight hours, like we do, sometimes you'll see, like if I'm on the freeway at 4 a.m, and the bars close at 2. So it does seem like frequently we have these problems at 3 or 4 in the morning.
Yeah.
You'll see that sign, wrong way driver ahead. Man, you suddenly are extremely cautious. Okay, Celeste, so the tariffs are in the news, and this time it has to do with our prescription drugs. You could look at this one of two ways, which is during the pandemic, we were shocked to learn that we could not get our prescription drugs. Why? Because we have become so dependent on countries around the world, and I'm not just talking about the big European countries. Right. Your prescription drugs could come out of India, or Pakistan, or who knows where. And so there's been a kind of a concerted effort to say, however we went down that road, stop, make those pharmaceuticals in this country. And this, I think, is part of the tariffs that President Trump is putting on.
Yeah, and maybe it'll force some of these insurance companies. We have a lot of compound pharmacies, right, around the valley and the country. And sometimes they are a little bit more pricey because they have to make things, there, in the pharmacy. But maybe it'll force them, too, to bring those numbers down. Yeah. I mean, I think that's why initially maybe the companies, the pharmaceuticals went outside of the United States. We have to find a way to bring the numbers down.
But will the medicine be too tough for people to swallow here?
Interesting.
Analysts say that the move could drive up cost of prescription drugs. You would have short-term pain for long-term solution of as much as 200%.
Wow.
Because some of these especially cheap drugs are coming in from third world nations or countries that it really might surprise you, where the costs are so much lower.
Right.
And so we are going to see right now how that all plays out. But don't forget, coming up in just a few minutes, we have one of the top economic reporters in America. He's with the Economist magazine. We're going to find out what's the latest on this tariff chaos. That's all coming up.
So, Ron, real quick, because folks are asking, we forgot to reveal the mystery camera.
Oh.
So I'm throwing this in chat. Why don't we do another quick look at it because we were kind of close to it. And after the next break, we can reveal. What do you think?
I love it. Nice walk along the beach right there. Okay. You still can give us your guesses.
Yes.
If you're a little late with your guessing, we would still love to hear from you because I'm so far off the ball.
If you're tardy to the party, you still got a chance.
Hey, a survey comes out and says, do you ever watch that show Family Feud? Survey says.
That's so good.
If you're looking to find some real peace, maybe you won't find it here in the hubbub of the USA. Maybe Iceland is the place for you, according to this new index that's out. It's known for, of course, its hot springs, its beautiful landscapes, its laid-back lifestyle. Oh, look, we even came up with some images.
Wow, and there's
from
lots of
Iceland.
people pushing strollers.
Yeah. They
Those
got a lot of
babies
babies
are
up
cold.
there.
Their babies are cold.
Yeah. Well, it's those cold nights. What are you going to do?
You can't do anything about. Put them in extra sleepers.
No, I mean, 9 months earlier on a cold night, you're going to, try to warm up with the person you love.
Oh, I
And
gotcha.
Next thing you know, baby's on the way.
Ron, now you're making me uncomfortable.
But here's my question for you, Celeste.
Okay.
And I think we'll even bring Big D in on this.
Big D.
What's the most peaceful place that you've ever been? I've never been to Iceland. Maybe I'll go there and never want to leave.
Are we talking cities or like locations in a city?
No rules, Celeste. It can be a park. It could be in Canto Park right by your house. Or it could be some country far, far away.
Okay.
Let's go to Big D first.
Let's go to Big D.
He's had some time to think about it. Most peaceful place, Dave?
His face makes me so happy.
I know.
Look at his face.
I know.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
The most peaceful place I've been is where I went on my honeymoon with my wife, Anna, Santorini, Greece.
Wow, and that's why he's winning as a husband.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's good.
That's Santorini.
Never been there.
I
Celeste,
haven't even been there.
What pops into your mind?
Mine is very simple.
Okay.
Okay. In Tempe, there's a neighborhood called the Lakes on Rural and Guadalupe.
Yeah.
And I went to high school there in the Marcos de Niza. But in the middle of the lakes, there was a coffee shop. And then now it's like a brunch spot.
Okay.
And it's right on the water. And I would go there to read. You can sit on the water.
This is a hot tip, Celeste.
Yeah. It used to be called Coffee Grounds when I was in high school. Now it's another. I think it's called like the Yacht Club or something. But it's right in the lakes. I think Ron's going to look up on a map or something. And you can sit on the water. And I ordered like a burger and sat there. And I actually just went there about 6 months ago. I had like a couple hours of mom-free time.
Nice.
And it's
just like back in the high school days.
Just back in high school.
Good for you,
and
Celeste.
I would go back in college. And it's just so serene and quiet.
I'm going to go for a little town in Northern California. My wife and I were driving all the way up the California coast one time up into Oregon. And the beaches there are so quiet. It's called Fort Bragg. Now, there's a Fort Bragg, North Carolina.
That's what I was thinking,
But there's also a Fort Bragg, California, and there's a little town right next to it called Mendocino. And there's never, as far as I could tell, there was never anybody at the beach.
Oh, wow. So
you have
it's
the
like
whole ocean to just soak up to yourself. So that's my hot tip.
That is really cool.
Yeah. We'll find out later from Des and from Bella where they think the most peaceful place is.
Yes.
I love your hot tip. Here is the Mystery Cam, Part 2. The true answers next.
All right, welcome back, everyone.
this is working out perfectly, Celeste,
Yes,
because
sir.
we just have been talking about the most peaceful place, and this is one of them, wherever it is, or we're about to find out.
Yeah, this is very peaceful. And you even have a playground, so let the kids go there. Mom takes a little gander about 10 feet to the beach.
Yes.
Wow, this is gorgeous.
Now, I like a couple of these guesses. Patricia says, for example, I think it's Rhode Island. It looks so East Coast. And let's see, what are some of the other ones? Darren says the Seychelles. Wow.
Well, no, the Seychelles was his most peaceful place.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, that's
okay.
but this is also peaceful, Ron. So some of the ideas that we're getting, Darren Lloyd said Tucson.
Thank you, buddy.
Linda Monturn also said Rhode Island.
All right.
We do have a South Carolina from Christine Carroll.
Yeah.
Rhode Island from Lil Philosophy.
Now, something about this to me says the Great Lakes.
And Sherry Nevada Pup says California, but I'm with you. I'm going to go Michigan. Yeah?
Okay, I was thinking either Wisconsin or Michigan.
Okay.
And I think I'm going to go Michigan as well. So let's just find out what
All right,
Celeste
we're all
has
over the
for
map
us.
on
Yeah,
this
we
one.
are.
So here it is.
Very exciting.
It's very
And
exciting.
what if it turns out to actually be the Seychelles accidentally?
Oh, well, then I owe you a soda.
Okay.
But it's Warwick, Rhode Island.
Oh, very nice. Good job, you guys.
Okay. Good work.
Yeah, and
But the Seychelles was one of the most peaceful places, Ron.
Yes, right.
Jen's Wall says, I say anywhere on a beach with very few people, which is what you shared.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And just one more here. We have a couple, and thank you all for sharing your thoughts on this, because someone said, Melinda said, I forgot Mount Lemon. In one of their cabins. It was so peaceful. So we have some good ideas out there.
Hey, we're excited to bring Archie Hall onto our streaming show here, Fox 10 Talks. He's one of the top reporters at The Economist magazine. And Celeste, you follow them on social?
I love The Economist on Twitter. They're amazing.
And I'm just going to say, by the way, we're going to bring Archie in right now. I'm also going to say that when I'm at the airport and I know I've got a nice 3-hour flight coming up, and you go to whatever, Hudson News or whatever store, I mean, I make a beeline straight for The Economist. It's perfect for reading on a plane.
Speaking of reading, good morning to you, Archie. What are those books behind you? They look like encyclopedias.
Good morning. Yes, those are our archives. So those are The Economist magazine for, I think, 2019 through 2011.
Wow.
So it's our video background.
Those are the ones you've been reading, Ron.
Yeah. Well, you know what, Celeste? I mean, let me just pull this up. That looks very peaceful, doesn't it?
It looks very peaceful.
Be able to go into a library and just read some back issues. I love it.
Why not?
All right. Okay. Archie, did you hear our chit chat just now? What's the most peaceful place you've ever been? And of course, you cover the whole world. There was a story that came out today that said Iceland's the most peaceful place on the planet. What do you think?
Oh, that's a very good question. I'm in New York right now, which is definitely not the most peaceful place in New York. I think Midtown is about as far as you can get to the other side.
Right.
No, I've done some lovely hiking over the years. I mean, it's hard to do better than the Lake District in England. There's some very, very peaceful vistas over there.
Oh, love that. He likes to hike.
Okay, we have all kinds of topics we want to get into with you today. And let's just start about some of this talk now about, are the tariffs going away? The market doesn't like chaos. I'm just looking right now. It's down not quite 400 points. Where are we going on this? And what would happen if suddenly all those tariffs that were put on, or at least let's say about 80 to 90% of them, were wiped out?
Gosh, yeah, it's pretty mad. So if all the tariffs were wiped out, and most of them were, I think the markets would be pretty ecstatic. That doesn't seem likely to happen. So the thing that's been in the news recently that you're referring to is that we've had a series of court decisions, including one recently a couple of days ago, that have said that a chunk of the tariffs, those under what's called IEEPA, an International Economic Emergencies Act, could be illegal and could be potentially struck down by the Supreme Court. And right now, that's a lot of the tariffs out there. That's your reciprocal tariffs that were announced with a big sandwich board on Liberation Day, if you remember that, and many others. Now, if the president wants to, even if the Supreme Court does ultimately side with some of these lower court rulings and decide the IEEPA tariffs are illegal and do have to be struck down, there are other ways to reconstitute those tariffs. You'd have to do it in a slightly slower way, a slightly messier way. You'd have to maybe go sector by sector or launch some investigations. But really, ultimately, if the president does want to have high tariffs across the board, he can probably get there. But this is definitely a bump on the road in the meantime if these court rulings do hold up.
Archie, kind of looking at it from a bigger picture, do you think these tariffs have at all helped since the president took office?
Yeah.
Like,
what about bringing those manufacturing jobs back? That
right,
kind of thing,
exactly.
Right?
Or now we're talking about, making the prescription drugs here in the United States versus overseas. There's a lot of fear, I think, around tariffs, but do you think they're being used as a negotiation tool successfully?
It's difficult to say. And I think one thing that makes the tariffs really challenging is that even just in your question, you can see that for different people and even for the president himself at different times, the tariffs are being kind of used for different goals. So if you did really, really want to bring back manufacturing jobs, the thing you should do is say these tariffs are here, they're here to stay, they're not going anywhere. So if you want to bring a factory back to the US that is only going to be economically viable, is only going to work on the assumption it's kind of behind this big tariff wall, then you really, really want to be certain that tariff wall is going to stay there, because the last thing you want to do as a company is spend 5-10 years bringing a huge factory over to the US, hiring a ton of people, and then a future administration gets rid of the tariffs, and you're back to a situation where you're not able to compete with other countries that can do that more cheaply. On the other hand, if you're trying to use the tariffs as a negotiation tool, and all you really want is to persuade a bunch of other countries to do what you want, be it on getting the Europeans to get rid of the digital taxes or just generally kind of bossing around countries around the world, then you do want the tariffs to be variable and movable, because you do want to say, if you do this particular thing, we will actually get rid of the tariffs. There is a carrot as well as a stick. And I think part of the difficulty is that sometimes you hear that first argument from the administration. These tariffs are here to say, they are designed to economically transform the country, bring back manufacturing, and you can quibble, we certainly have, as to whether that's realistic, but they've said that. And on the other hand, sometimes it's this negotiating tool that's kind of coming and going, and it's really hard to have it both ways.
Well, we only have about a minute or two left here, so let me just jump in and ask you about housing. There's a new survey that came out today that said families looking for better schools want to move, and that's like a top criteria for them. But that in this survey, the average home, if it was anywhere in a good school district, could be $1 million or more. So it just brings up the whole question. I think you're the perfect guy to kind of get into this. What has to happen for more homes to get built in this country? And why are we in a situation where these housing prices just keep going up and interest rates are up there at almost 7%?
It's pretty remarkable. I think if you told almost anyone 3 years ago that the mortgage rate was going to 7%, and where would house prices be, they would not say where they are now, which is maybe a little bit down, but not a ton, down a bit more after you account for inflation. Yeah, it's tough. I mean, there's two things that I think lie behind the kind of home issue. One is, in a lot of cities, I mean, I'm sitting here from New York, there is a real issue with zoning codes being very restrictive, and it's just very, very difficult to legally build new homes because you have to meet all these different requirements. It's very, very expensive, and often you're literally banned from doing so. So in a lot of big cities, particularly in city centers, that's a real problem. Elsewhere in the country, I mean, obviously America has tons and tons of space, in many cases doesn't have those issues. Then it is, as you say, that kind of financing question, which is that it is very, very hard if you're a home builder and you're staring at incredibly high borrowing rates to do the financing to actually build those homes, to go ahead and do that. And so we've seen a big decline in housing starts since interest rates started going up, and that looks likely to stay until they start coming down.
All right. Archie, will you come visit with us again sometime? I learned a lot, Syleste, in the last 7 minutes. How about you?
So did I, yeah.
Excellent.
Thank you, Archie.
Thank you, Archie. Yeah.
Good job, Archie. Thank you.
And enjoy all those back issues.
Back issues and the hiking trails in England.
He said the Lakes District is the place to go. Okay, well, another place that certainly is not peaceful, boy, we know that for sure, is Chicago, Syleste. This story that came in this morning almost makes a mockery of what the, some of the leaders in that city were saying, which has to do with what's going on with the amount of violence there. 54 there were so many people shot in Chicago this last weekend that 50, the numbers have moved around by the hour.
Right.
Anywhere from 52 to 59 people shot, a number of people killed, and
it's heartbreaking.
It's such a problem there.
Well, and I think it's for a lot of people who live in Chi-Town, it's probably pretty startling and scary.
Yeah.
We were looking at the University of Chicago, and there were some people who live there, and they said, "Don't come here. Don't send your kid here."
Really?
Yeah, because and that's almost an Ivy school. It's a high-ranking school. A lot of smart kids go to that school. It's very well regarded around the nation. Like if your child had that on their resume, I mean, they're like, "Wow, we want to hire you." But it's a scary part of town because a lot of the universities there are in the city or close to the city or some of these neighborhoods where you're finding the crime taking place.
Well, so here's our poll question, and we're getting a lot of response to it, that's for sure. Right now, with that many people, more than 50 shot over the Labor Day weekend, here are your options, because is it time to send in the Guard, the National Guard? 65% of you say yes, it cut crime in D.C., it will do the same in Chicago. 25% say no, the city doesn't want them, so the president needs to back off. And another 10% are saying, kind of down the middle here, Chicago should at least be willing to give it a try. Put the politics aside. If it works, then you can figure it out for the future.
Yeah. There were some comments from people in D.C., I know, on both sides. Some people liked it, some people didn't. So here's a look at the YouTube poll, and here's your question. We may use your comments on the show, by the way. At least 54 people were shot in Chicago over Labor Day weekend. And the numbers, 46% of you say yes, it cut crime in D.C. It will do the same in Chicago. 40%. About the same number of people and about 520 voters as of right now say no, the city doesn't want them. The president needs to back off. 14% of you say Chicago should be willing to give it a try, politics aside.
One of the things that I think we in the media are guilty of is just being way too numbers based. There have been many weekends in Chicago that are just shockingly violent.
Yeah.
And maybe you do get numb to it. And maybe you can kind of excuse it if you've been living in the city for years. And, especially if you look at it from politics rather than just maybe we could save some lives. But Dave actually printed off for me the reports of all of the different shootings. And in our 11:30 half hour, Celeste, I'm going to go through them, and it will break your heart.
To see what the numbers are.
To see the individual stories behind the gunfire.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And these are babies killing babies.
Yeah, it's really
sometimes
true.
they're young teenagers.
So coming up next, Dave has been going through your comments. We really encourage whether you vote on the QR code poll or you in the YouTube poll. We love to get your feedback. So be sure to join us for that. Dave is coming up after the break and a whole lot more. We'll be right back.
my goodness.
All right, look at that, would you? That's another peaceful place. That's got to be a college campus somewhere, Celeste,
Yes.
here in this great, big, beautiful country of ours. Look at the guy that was out there mowing the lawn this morning.
Wow.
That's a big job.
Not only that, but I think he needs a raise. Do you see how straight those lines are? It looks spectacular.
Yeah, no kidding.
Was it Ohio, you said, Dave?
Oxford, Ohio. Stand by, everybody, because it's a streaming show. We do stuff on the fly around here. Oxford, Ohio.
And by the way,
Let's find out what school that
while
is.
you're looking that up, Ron, I wanted to say that right before we came back from break, Dave chimed in our ear. He said, "You guys are doing awesome."
Oh.
He's so encouraging. Everybody needs a big D in their life.
Yes, that's
you
right.
know?
By the way, this is Miami of Ohio, which, ever since I was a kid, I always heard about it, and I thought,
I have a girlfriend whose son plays golf there. He's a sophomore.
At Miami of Ohio.
Yeah, and he's from here in the Valley. He went to Chaparral High School.
Okay.
And she loves it. He loves it. It's a smaller school, and they play some of those Ivies. It's kind of like, again, like University of Chicago. It's like a small, like little Ivy, if you will.
Oh, it's a little Ivy.
It's a great school.
That might be a state I do next year.
A little Ivy?
No, Ohio.
I'm like, where's that?
There's an old song, something about lambs eat oats and...
Dotes. What are dotes?
Little lambs eat ivy. Anyway.
Okay, sing it, Ron.
No,
sing
I know. Did you, when you were a kid, did your mom and dad ever do sing-alongs with you when you were on family trips?
I can't remember. I'm sure we did.
Yeah.
My grandmother did, though, my Nana.
Yeah.
When she had this like little Mexican jingle, and something like that.
Well, this one was mares eat oats and lambs eat oats. I don't even remember. It's been so long.
Real
I think
quick,
it was
Ron,
like 6.
Jaron Ochoa is new.
Oh, nice. Welcome,
to our
Jaron.
chat.
Nice.
And we're so glad you're here. We have a
Yes.
couple of newbies here, by the way.
Also, I just thought I'd mention Efren is in as one of our newer commentators. Says, I think I should correct you about the housing issue. An expert recently said there wasn't a real shortage, but costs are preventing their purchase for median family and low family incomes. And boy, does that make sense too. These sky-high prices. Okay, Efren, thank you. Welcome aboard, everybody. We got a lot of Australian viewers today.
Yes, we do.
We love it. Okay, let's go to Big D. You've been looking at comments. What are you seeing, friend?
That's right. Great comments today. Really insightful. Cave Johnson 35 says military in a city is a band-aid. As soon as they leave, what stops the city from reverting to how it was previously or worse? What is needed are more police and better use of police, not militarization. Tammy Ruiz says every American deserves to be safe in their neighborhood. If the mayor and governor can't do their jobs for their citizens, then move over and let other people do it. Mike Brzezowski says, I do not want the National Guard deployed in any city. It is too much like a military regime. Give these cities the funds they need to handle crime in their own way. And finally, Jack Ace 413 says, if this were a Democratic president sending the Guard into red states, Republicans would be having a meltdown. Crime overall has been on the decline for years. Let's not normalize turning troops against the citizens of the country, because if that happens, it would be fair game for both sides, and I don't want to see more division or the optics of authoritarianism in the U.S. Keep the comments coming, guys. Really cool to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, great comments on that.
Yeah,
Big D.
Absolutely. All right.
Thank you, buddy.
We are going to talk just a little bit more about some of our other top stories this morning. And one of the questions that we've been asking ourselves, and Isabella joins as well. Good morning,
Hello, Bella. Good morning.
Is whether or not you would go on a cruise for your life. So there is a cruising company that's out there right now. Let me find it right here. So they call the Golden Passport. You literally can go on a cruise for as long as you live. And here's the thing, if you're 90, they're only going to charge you $100,000. You can't buy a house for $100. You can get on a cruise ship for the rest of your life.
What are they implying?
Well, they're implying you're only going to live till like 94 or 93.
Rude.
Very rude.
Well, what happens when you pass away?
Yeah, put it in the will and there'll be a big fight about it. But if you're, say, in your 50s, like 55 to 60, you can do it for $400,000, and then the joke's on them if you live another 40 years.
Yeah, so just start taking your vitamins and work out and prove I'm wrong.
Yeah, the Odyssey. Oh, by the way, we do have some video here of folks out enjoying the cruising lifestyle.
Yes.
The Odyssey is on a 3-year world cruise right now. And
Wow,
over the
that's
course of the
nice.
3 years, it's stopping at more than 400 ports. You could literally see almost the entire world.
That is really
Wow.
nice.
It sounds good, doesn't it?
Have you been on a cruise, Bells?
I have.
Yeah, did you? What was
Yes.
it like? Do you like them?
It was nice. We cruised the Bahamas. Super random. I really like the chocolate molten lava cakes.
Really?
That was my favorite.
So the deal is, I've never been on a cruise. Have you, Ron?
Yes, a couple of them.
And so the idea is that a food and drink, everything is included. So you could have those chocolate lava cakes every night.
day.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, you at least the cruise, a couple of cruises that I went on, they have like the main dining room, and you go there in the evening and have a really fancy meal.
In your tux.
Ugh, no, but they do want you wearing a suit and tie. But they, because we wear that, at least the guys in this business have to wear them every day anyway. So the other thing is that they have like a food bar up top that's like 6 a.m. till midnight.
Wow.
With all the fish and chips, all the burgers, all the
Fish and
foods
chips?
that you really love.
How's the tartar? It's all about the sauce.
Yeah, that's pretty good, as I recall.
Not as good as Ivor's.
But what would you miss? What would you guys, if you were on a cruise for even 3 years, what would you miss?
Oh, land. Sand. I would miss sand. Like, you know, I mean, it's putting your feet in, you see, walking on the beach.
Right.
You
Bella,
know?
what would you miss?
I think I'm fine with, going to the ports because you can walk around. I look at the sand, but I
Right.
think I would miss my family.
Me
'Cause I can't see
too.
my grandparents going on that or like my baby cousins.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'd miss my family.
That's so true.
Well, you know, I got caught in that storm last night. Just the 3 miles between my house and my grandkids' house, Jordan and Kelsey and the kids there. And I'm like, I'm the pizza delivery guy.
Oh.
I had pizzas for everybody. We did our family fantasy football
I
draft
love
last
it.
night. I got Saquon Barkley. Very happy. But I thought, I got to get over there and deliver this pizza. I think I would miss my family. I mean, I miss them if I'm gone for a week. I don't think
Well,
I could do 3 years.
I'm making it, I thought it was automatic. They would just come with you.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
I wonder if you have to
Sure.
go by yourself.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know,
that's not a bad
I'm
idea.
saying everybody come with. If
Okay.
nobody's with me,
Yeah.
I'm not going to last in a day.
All right. Let's talk about this on television today on Fox 10 TV. We had a really interesting poll, which is, if you could go back in time and change careers, would you?
Mm-hmm.
And so Dave's gonna join in. What's that, Dave? Oh, graphics 4. Hold on, I got it. I got the button right there. Look at that. 43% are saying, actually, yeah, I would. 57% are saying, I'm happy with the way it all worked out.
Oh, you know what? Chime in in the chat. We're on the air for the next 5 minutes. What's
Yeah.
your dream job?
Ooh,
Yeah.
good question.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, Bella, you're in the young stages of your career. You're happy right with where you are in your career path, right?
Yes.
Good.
I am.
Celeste, would you change anything?
I don't think so.
Yeah?
I mean, I love my job. This
Yeah,
is fun.
I
You're
know.
so good at what you do, too.
Oh, Bells, thank you.
It
I'm
all led us to this, and we're having the
Yeah.
time of our life.
We
And we
are.
love hanging out with you guys in the chat. And yeah, I don't think I would change
Yeah.
You guys are
anything,
both
really.
so good at what you do. I think you did the right
Thank
thing.
you,
Thank you,
Bella.
Belle.
The
You're
only thing I
welcome.
would change would be my starting wage at my. Remember on TV today, I was talking about how gas was 29 cents a gallon.
When you
Do you know
started
what the
driving.
minimum wage was at my first radio job?
Oh, I'm going to go $2.50 an hour.
$1.65 an hour.
Oh
Oh my gosh.
Can you believe that?
You can't get anything with that.
No, I
anymore.
know.
Where did you
but
live?
that was in Wenatchee.
Well, and were you living in an apartment or?
No, I was still at home. I was a high school kid.
Oh, yeah.
Thank goodness you were at
Yeah.
home.
Yes, no, I know. But gas was 29 cents a gallon. Burgers were 49 cents.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it really wasn't. You could literally buy a house for about $25,000. A nice
Wow.
house.
That's crazy.
I wish.
Yeah.
would be amazing.
So, Dave, I know you were going to look for comments on this. Did you see anybody chatting about it? Big
Yeah,
D.
really, really cool comments here. Albert Wakechert from Phoenix says, I have been in computer software, and though I am retired, that is still my dream career. Lori Hernandez in Avondale says, cruise director, then once school is complete, a registered nurse. Let's see here. Gosh, so many good comments here. Nicole says, I'm currently a call center supervisor. What I wanted all those years was to be a veterinarian. Felicia from Chandler says, I'm in HR, but I should have been a nurse or a lawyer. Morgan Valentine in Phoenix says, going to law school, and I work at a law firm. I love what I do. Chandel Adidhili in Mesa says, a registered nurse, I always would help people. And then Roy Laponin in Queen Creek says, my career in automotive engineering was fun, but the pay wasn't great. I'd be a lawyer, and my passion for automobiles would instead be a hobby. So really, really cool. Again, it's so fun to see everybody's comments, so keep them coming.
And by the way, Syleste mentioned, chat with us about your feelings about this in the chat box. Linda, who is one of our great commentators out there in the beautiful Gila Valley, in the shadow of Mount Graham, says, I loved being a teacher. I think most teachers would tell you, I loved it. I loved the interaction and seeing kids really kind of grow educationally.
Yeah, no kidding. RLS Vid says, professional chicken McNugget quality control tester.
I'm hungry now.
That actually is a great idea.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
How about
so
Darla,
wonderful.
who says, my first only did a couple of years in a row was working as a chef on the Polar Express.
Oh, my goodness. How wonderful.
Well, we need to dedicate a little bit more time to what was your first job.
So
that
here's
would be a good topic,
Essie
right?
says, I love my job. I work in failure analysis for microchips. Also a self-taught day trader. Essie, you're not alone. There's a lot of people who've done this self-taught day trader thing.
Right.
I went in for a massage one time, and I'm like talking to the guy, the massage therapist. He's like, I'm a day trader. I do day trading when I'm not working. And I was like, do you make how much money are you making? He's like, I make a few thousand a month.
Wow.
In
That's
day trading. And he's a young guy, that's actually a really good gig if you can know how to do it.
And Anita joins. What was your very first job, Anita? Do you recall?
Babysitting.
Okay.
And then I worked at the Baby Gap / Gap Kids.
In Schaumburg?
In Schaumburg at Whitfield Mall. And let me tell you, when they gave
I've
me the
been to that
key.
mall.
And
Is that why you don't have any children, human children?
Probably. The best part was when they gave me a key so that I could do returns. You better believe I felt important wearing that around my wrist.
Yeah.
The key dangler.
I mean, you could have walked around and practically called yourself a supervisor.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
We could probably still get a T-shirt for her maid that
Anita.
says supervisor.
That's Baby Gap on it.
What's coming up at 11, Anita?
Well, we're going to talk about the crime in Chicago. I know that is our poll question. I'm from Chicago, so we'll chat a little bit about that. And then we have a brand new ASU police dog, Bella. She will be in studio.
Okay, wonderful. Thanks for watching, everyone.
Starting right after this break.
I was going to say it's Thursday. It's not Thursday, and we're here.
Hello.
Hi.
Do they have us?
There we go.
Okay, we're here.
The Blondes Who Babble are back.
There you go. Second day in a row.
You know, thanks for joining me, Danielle.
Of course.
You had an exciting morning. You were in a fast car.
Yes, if that's what you want to call it.
Okay.
Well, it's definitely a fast car. Fun morning. I don't know about that.
For those of you at home who watch our broadcast, Danielle was doing
I'm still coming down off of the road.
You were doing about 80.
Yeah, but it was so funny because when he told me that, I asked, hey, how fast are we going right now? You feel like you're going 1,000 miles per hour. He said, I think it was 78 at that, almost 80. And when you're on the freeway going 80, it's nothing.
No.
But when you're drifting and you're not in control of the vehicle, different story.
Totally different story.
Yeah.
And it was all for a good cause?
It is, yeah. So Radford Racing School, they're joining up with Child Help, which is a local organization that helps children in crisis, which is amazing. They have a big event happening October 11th. So we were basically just doing a preview. You can bring, for folks out there who have very fancy, fast cars, you can bring your car out there, go on the track, go whatever speed you want, or you can go out with an instructor who was driving me as well. There's tickets, $850.
Woo!
Yeah.
But
it's really cool.
It stays locally.
It does stay local, yes. And then you can be a spectator. I think those tickets are about $200. But that's October 11th. And it's,
how fun.
I'm going to be a spectator.
You're not getting back in?
I'll be on the side. Yeah, it's just not my jam. Going straight really fast, great. When you start drifting, I'm out.
No, thank you, right?
Nope, I'm out.
I'm trying to log in because it's always right when you need your computer. It is when it'll just go down, right?
Crashes.
Okay, so I know Ron was talking about this because Ron and I kind of collaborated on our poll question.
Yeah.
So I think that, let me see, ENG21, this is our poll question. This is on YouTube. Is it on both platforms? Yeah. Dave, it's on both platforms. And so the question is, I'm from Chicago.
Yeah.
And it really interested me when I heard these stats this morning after the Labor Day weekend, which I hate to say is pretty typical in Chicago when you have a holiday weekend. But the question is, we have at least 54 people shot in Chicago over the Labor Day weekend. Is it time to send in the National Guard?
Right.
So the answers are what?
Yes. It cut crimes in D.C. It will do the same in Chicago. So about 45% of people saying yes, no, the city doesn't want them. The president needs to back off. That's at 41%. And Chicago should be willing to give it a try. Politics aside, that's about 14% there. So kind of in the middle, I guess.
Okay.
Half and half for right down the road.
Let me play you guys. I don't have, Dave, can you guys play my sound? I don't have any sound bites on here. No. Oh, there it is. I'm going to play the sound for you guys.
People, united will always prevail. I need you all to stand firm, to stand strong. If this president decides to continue to break this Constitution, it's going to be the labor movement that stitches it back together. The labor movement that brings black folks, white folks, Asians. It brings brown folks together. This is the city that said keep hope alive. The city that birthed yes we can. And the city that will defend this country. No troops in Chicago. Invest in Chicago. Invest in Chicago. No troops in Chicago. The people.
So that is Brandon Johnson, the mayor of Chicago since 2023. And again, this was interesting to me because I'm from Chicago, and I know we have a lot of people who have moved from the Illinois area talking a little bit about this. And so Mayor Bowser in D.C., when President Trump initially said, I'm sending in the troops, very against it, then recently saying, okay, wait, now maybe this is working.
Yeah.
And so that's why we took that to our viewers. Last Labor Day weekend, 42 people were shot, 10 people were killed. That's according to the Sun-Times there. I read an article that said the youngest victim this past weekend, 14 years old.
Yeah. It's when you hear the statistics, I mean, that's when it's, and obviously not being from there, not living there, you wonder what is typical, which I mean,
growing up, I'm going to say it wasn't typical.
Okay.
That's not something we heard about,
Okay.
until recent years. And it's really, we were on vacation and met a couple from the Indiana-Illinois border, and they said, something has to be done.
Yeah.
Something has to be done.
Yeah, and I think people are so passionate on either side. You know, you either, just like our poll question states, it's you either really are for sending in the National Guard or sending in some type of reinforcement to be able to drop those crime levels, or you're extremely against it, as we just heard the mayor there.
So we have something that is going on here locally as well, and I think I have the correct video. We have a tribe here, the Gila River Indian community, is considering really what is being called a landmark proposal, and they want to banish and, quote, disenroll members who are convicted of violent crimes. And this is the first of its kind move that would ever be made by any type of tribe. Dave, do we have sound on this one? Sound 2. Okay, let me play this for you guys, and then we'll chat a little bit about it. Give me 2 seconds. All I have is sound 1 here. Okay, I guess we're just not going to play that. But we do have, they had a big community meeting.
Yeah, which that was photos from there.
And
get
people
on
are
the
very
ball and
concerned.
start
Here we
doing
go.
this. We have, this needs to be done. We can't go on for another 10 years.
Can't go on for another 10 years.
Yeah.
People who live in that community want something done. So this proposal comes, this is a 600 square mile reservation. This is a very large community, and they have seen a surge in violence. Tribal police officer Joshua Brees was shot to death last summer.
Yep. Yeah, and I mean, somebody also stated at that meeting, I believe, rather than the council making this decision, put it to a vote for the members there in that community. So obviously things are still in the early stages of that. Not sure what is going to happen past that point. I guess my question would be, what does this mean for those violent criminals? The banishment, does that mean, where do they go?
That's interesting. And I know they're going to take it to the community. They're asking for input on the proposal. The deadline will be September 13th. So I know we're going to continue to cover that and put that information out there. But it's very interesting and unfortunate to see violence hitting so communities in every single size, of every single size.
And for it to get to this magnitude, obviously losing a police officer, it obviously, it shows that the people there, they're worried. They're ready to do something about it. So this is just the first stages, and definitely something we'll have to follow up on.
We're going to switch gears. Let's talk a little bit about gas prices. I know we mentioned them yesterday because of Labor Day. But we sent Irene Snyder out there earlier today. The average price of gas in Arizona, you guys, if you're at home, chime in, let us know what you're paying and where you're buying your gas. $3.43 as of today. That's according to AAA. Further breakdown. I know that it's a 10-cent jump from last week.
Yeah, it is.
And our prices are actually 36 cents higher than they were a month ago. And we're 20 cents higher than last year.
Exactly. Yeah. So we were out there this morning. We went to a Chevron in Phoenix, Anita and Danielle, and we were talking to people out there just about that. And they were saying in the last week, since they went out and got gas last week, they're like, it's spiked since then, which we can see. It's like a 10-cent increase, and people are noticing it too. One of the people we went out and spoke with, he did rideshare. It wasn't like an Uber or a Lyft. It was some kind of other company. So I'm not sure how their policies work, but he was telling me that because he does rideshare, if the gas prices go up, he gets paid less for the same amount of work. So he has to work more, and that's only one of the jobs that he does.
We actually have that soundbite. So let's go ahead and play it, and then you can tell us a little bit more about it. Oh, that's the wrong one.
There we go.
Pro sometimes, on the side end is really steep right now because it's a little on the high side. You spend more, on the gas, and that's not really, you make less, you spend more on the gas. Driving around is more expensive nowadays.
It's every time because we do these stories all the time, and they're like, oh, the gas prices are going down. It's like, wait,
where are they? Where are they going down?
So many people. Just like that rideshare guy, you got to think of delivery drivers. Also, a huge impact, the construction industry, because all of that equipment functions.
Yeah, on gas.
It's crazy,
and it is all passed down to us.
Exactly.
We're
and
not in
the
construction.
Nope.
We're not rideshare, but it is going to affect all of us.
Exactly.
Of course, we all take trips. We all use gas, or most of us, at least, you don't have electric vehicles getting to work every day. So it all impacts all of us.
Yeah.
So one of those things like food, gas, everyone's impacted in some way.
Irene delivering the good news for us.
Darren
I was
Lloyd.
on the zoo too, so at least I had something fun.
There you go.
Darren Lloyd says that he does rideshare. So Darren, are you a driver? Are you taking rideshare?
Yeah.
Tell us what you're seeing and what the effect is. But you made an interesting comment when you were live, and you said it's not that cheap here anymore.
No, I feel like, I came to the Valley. You guys have been here longer than I have. I came in 2020. I feel like everything from rent to food to gas prices has gone up so exponentially. And it's funny, even like Starbucks, I thought they were the same price everywhere. We went back to Pennsylvania to see my family. It was like $5 or $6 for like a venti versus like $8 or $9 here.
Yeah.
So it just seems like everything is so much more expensive here.
It's everything.
Why do we think that is?
I don't know about that. That wasn't my story. I'll tell that my next story.
Here.
So they're taking advantage.
I don't know. I just feel like the prices went so high during COVID and everything that I don't think we're ever going to come back down.
I don't think we're ever going to come back down.
These companies and these people, they've already charged this. So it's like, they know they can charge it, and I'm not saying that there are, it's more expensive for these restaurants. So it's, somebody has to pay for it.
Darren Lloyd says he's a driver. So Darren, we've got about a minute before we hit our break. Tell us what you're seeing and how that is affecting you, because I'm curious from someone who actually is out there.
Oh, yeah.
Because, if you're paying more, then you have to charge people more for a ride.
Yeah.
Or the company.
Just like restaurants, to get that food to the restaurant for them to cook it.
Yeah.
It is more money, which it's a trickle down effect. It's a cycle
And our Isabella says when she moved to Phoenix in 2019, she thought it was cheap. And now it's expensive.
Yeah. No, I moved here 2015. I've been here 10 years. And it's crazy because I lived in Arcadia when I first moved here, which is pretty expensive. I didn't know, moving to the Valley, obviously, that Arcadia was
You're trying to find a place close to
work. And
safe area.
Safe
I did the same thing.
Safe area. Yep. And I think my rent was like $1,700. And I had a great apartment.
Oh, yeah. Mine was $1,500 when I moved here.
That still seems like a lot to me, $1,700. Yeah, I wonder what it is
if
now.
If you look at it now, it's like $3,000.
Wow. Yeah.
Mine's over $2,000. Yeah. And it was at $1,500 when I moved here. So it's gone up $500 or $600 in 5 years.
Darren says he actually sees gas prices fluctuate throughout the day, which is very interesting because I do think that makes a difference.
And don't they say days too to fill up on a
So it's that
past day, or
the summer blend and all those changes. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. of peaceful, serene places? Is there anything that comes to mind?
I've never been there, but everyone talks about New Zealand as being the most.
Okay.
My sister, who's traveled
just very zen
the globe, she says that New Zealand is the most peaceful. I don't know. I've never been. So anybody who's been to New Zealand, chime in. I think it has like the lowest crime rate. It's just very zen. And also Denmark. And you know why? Because they live the hygge lifestyle, which means the cozy. They're all about the coziness.
What does that mean?
You don't know what cozy means? Yeah, like it's called hygge. I think I'm saying it correctly.
What?
Hygge. Yeah.
Spell it.
Hygge. Yeah.
Okay, what does that mean?
It means like we live a cozy life.
Okay, but like they wrap themselves in blankets and curl up on the couch.
I think
cozy?
everything they do is just they love coziness. So anything that involves coziness, like they really try to live
cozy.
A hygge lifestyle. Like that's.
So that just
anybody
makes
from Denmark.
So that makes you more peaceful and serene.
I would think so. Yeah. I mean, anything that's cozy is typically peaceful. A hot chocolate with a little blanket, coziness, peace.
I have never heard of this in my life.
Yes, the hygge lifestyle. It's amazing. Go to you travel so much.
We haven't.
Denmark's on your list.
We were just in Venice.
Denmark's on your list.
I wouldn't call Venice zen.
Okay.
There were a lot of people there.
Yeah, that's
But
not
we
zen.
did venture into all of the residential neighborhoods, and sometimes we were the only people out on the street.
Yeah. Interesting.
So, believe it or not, Iceland is
number one,
the most peaceful country. GPI ranks countries using 23 different indicators. So we're talking about military, external conflicts like homicide, terrorism, and then we're talking about how people can foster stability and peace. India ranked 115th on the list.
Wow. And look, Denmark, number 8.
Number 8.
See?
Yeah, we have a whole...
And New Zealand, number 3.
Okay.
2 of them.
Well, your sister's onto something, right?
There we go.
Finland was number 10, and Russia was the least peaceful.
Yeah.
I think we can figure out
I think a lot of those, very Scandinavia. All the
Scandinavian countries. Got it.
But I think they all live by the hygge.
Hygge. I don't even know how to pronounce what you're throwing
We'll work
at
on
me.
it.
Hygge? Hygge?
I've been around a lot of Danes, so hopefully I'm good.
Okay, so you know what makes me feel peaceful and serene?
Yes, I do.
Doggies.
Yep.
Hello, gentlemen, officers. Introduce yourselves to everyone.
Yeah, so I'm Officer Prince Singh.
You're going to have to be really nice and close. Hi, sweetie.
I gotcha.
Hi, Belle.
Oh, she wants to say her name.
Yes. And
You're Belle.
This right here is Belle.
Okay.
So spelled Belle.
Okay.
So she's a German short hair pointer dog. And she's my partner.
She's your partner.
She is amazing. And then who are you? What's your name?
My name is Nathan Mackinnon.
Awesome.
I'm also a canine handler for ASU.
Awesome.
Okay.
Yeah, these are our Sun Devils right here, our police officers. Works up, man. Come on. Hillary would be so disappointed in you, Anita.
I went to DePaul University in Chicago. I didn't know what ASU was until
Aw.
I moved here. She's a new partner to you. Tell us a little bit about the training and how you guys are getting along.
No, most definitely. Yeah, she just recently started. She's still a puppy, so there's a lot for her to still learn. She's still working a little bit on obedience, but everything else she's knocking out of the park. So she started working with us about 3 months ago, so that's how long she's been with me.
Wow.
Yeah, and she stays with me. Everyone always asks, wondering like, hey, do you take the dog home? Yeah,
Yeah.
she stays with me.
You take her
Yeah,
home.
so she stays with me. She lives with me. We hang out all the time. We spend a lot of time together.
It's amazing. And so for folks out there who don't know, obviously we know our Phoenix, our Chandler, our Gilbert police officers, you guys and gals are just as busy. You guys make sure ASU's campuses are protected and are safe. Just kind of describe some of your roles. What exactly do you guys do?
And really quickly, ASU, largest university in
Yep.
the nation when it comes to enrollment. So you have a lot of people under your belts.
Oh yeah, no, we're a full functioning police department, just like any other police department in the Valley. We have a canine unit, we have detectives, we have we're growing like crazy. Obviously, the university is huge. Our department's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So we're just a little city in the middle of, Tempe, and we're located in 4 different cities as well.
Yeah.
How many officers then on the force?
Man, I don't know. I'm pretty sure we're
Dozens?
pretty high up there. Oh yeah, definitely. So yeah, we're very close to being fully staffed, which is awesome. So I mean, we're growing, and ever since I've been here, I feel like our department's just blossomed.
Yeah, exactly. And what is Belle? going to be doing? What are her tests? You guys have very packed football games, basketball games.
So that's where you'll find us. A lot of the times we'll be at basketball games, any events, concerts going on campus. That's where we'll be. Or if there's any public figures or celebrities come in to hang out, we do a sweep around there, and a little bit about what she does, like her purpose. So she's a detection dog for explosives. So that's what her detection is, just the ingredients that go into it. So that's what her role is. And she's a single purpose dog. That's her only purpose. So no biting, no drugs, nothing like that. So she focuses on that. So she makes it a safe learning environment, a safe space for everyone to come and hang out at ASU.
How many canine units are on the force? And then does each dog have that different purpose? So Bell's is any type of explosive. Do we have drug sniffing dogs?
No, ASU, we do not have any drug sniffing dogs. We have 5 explosive detection dogs. And all of our dogs are single purpose dogs, meaning they don't do any bite work. They don't do any drug detection, no tracking, nothing like that. They're all trained to sniff out explosives.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean,
guess my question would be, why is that so important, looking for the explosives on
opposed to the drugs or anything?
On a university setting, because you're thinking college kids party,
Sure.
so you might be looking for something like that. But why the explosives on a college setting?
Well, it's just the fact that, like you said, we're a giant university. We're like a city, but we have Mold Arena now, so we have concerts. We have, last year was a very heavy political season, so we had political candidates coming to
rallies there.
And when it comes to a point of like, can we do this or can we not do this, we have dogs that are ready to go, so that way ASU can come out and say, yep, we can do this, we can have this event here for the students.
So are they used only during events, or are they used daily to patrol and work with you guys?
Oh yeah, they're definitely used on our patrols as well. Any suspicious bags that come out, we can go help out with that. We also not only do ASU stuff, but we help out other neighboring cities, like when Phoenix had the Final Four for basketball, when Glendale has a Super Bowl. Maybe another political opponent is speaking somewhere in Phoenix, and we need to go help Phoenix do a sweep with that as well.
I was wondering, Belle, I don't know if you guys I did a story. It was such a fantastic story at ASU. Right. The tennis team donated their tennis balls, their old tennis balls. It was the cutest, best story ever, because these tennis balls, once the NCAA deems them, they've been hit too many times. Right. These dogs, I don't think Belle was there. Obviously, I don't think, because it was a couple months ago. Yeah, about 5-6 months ago, I did the story. They dumped these balls, and these 2 dogs on your guys' department went nuts. It was the cutest thing ever. So, Belle, I think you have some tennis balls. Thanks to the tennis team.
She has a lot of
tennis. She does.
What's the training like then? You've had her for a couple of months, but before you got her, what was her training like? And then how do you continue that training?
Yeah, so what she does, she essentially sniffs any odors that we really like, anything like that. We reward her as soon as she smells it, and she has an alert. So she does either sitting, standing, or pointing is her way of alerting, or wiggling her tails. Each dog has a different way to alert, to notify, hey, like this is the smell right here. So that's what she does, and every time she does that, we give her a reward, and her reward is a tennis ball.
A tennis ball, see?
Yeah.
The tennis team, we love you. I think do we have a couple questions?
You are so
Did you say on the chat? Okay, let me see. Oh, is that his pet? Darren asked at the end of the day. I think, officer, you said.
So they are working dogs.
Okay.
So the thing that we make it very clear for people, because everyone sees her and they're like, that's not a normal dog that we see. We see German Shepherds.
German Shepherd.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So everyone sees her and they're like, hey, that's just your pet, not a work dog. No, she is a work dog. Everyone always asks to pet her. So when she's working, we appreciate that everyone asks to pet. Like that's what we make very well known and clear, that these are working dogs. So when they are working, please don't come up and pet them. If you would like to, always ask. A lot of the times we'll say no because she is working and she has a job to do, and we don't want her getting distracted from it. So that is like the main stuff.
She's getting a little distracted.
She's like, what is that big green screen?
Another question from Hi Johnny's asking, do they look for fireworks?
So there are ingredients that go into fireworks. So like I said, they're looking for the ingredient. So they can alert on those as well. And so that's just something we just have to be aware of what it is. So some events have fireworks, like the ASU football games. We have fireworks over there. So it's something we have to be prepared for and aware of. And try to
Because she would hit on that.
Yes.
Will she sniff that out?
Yes, she will sniff that out, yeah.
But you know it's okay. It's supposed to be there. No concerns, no worries.
Correct.
You mentioned all the petting and the hugs and the visits. Do a lot of the students stop?
Yeah, a lot of the students stop and want to see. Sure. Yeah, everyone always asks, and we're not trying to be rude, I promise. It's just she has a job to do and it's important. There are times where we allow her to be pet. Like we go to schools as well, like elementary schools, high schools nearby, and give demonstrations and mostly educate students and kids, young kids on, hey, like this is a service animal. This is how you should approach a service animal. Always ask before doing anything. So it's always important to get that permission.
She's sitting on my feet
so
right
cute.
now. And I will tell you that it's very comforting.
Yeah.
Cozy warm.
Yeah, she's amazing.
What's the word?
She's Hughie.
She's Hughie.
She's cozy. I know. I'm telling you, everyone's.
No, that's my first time too.
It's a Danish term, so yeah, Hughie. Hygge. Yeah.
Hygge.
And my favorite thing is Hughie toy, which is cozy clothes, sweatsuits, cozy.
It refers
Sorry,
to
we're way off
coziness, comfort, and well-being that creates a feeling of contentment and warmth. That's
Belle right there. And she's, I'm sure, just another tool in your guys' toolbox to keep everybody safe.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I mean, she's awesome, and all of our dogs are awesome. When we pick them out, we not only want them to have a high work drive because they're going to be working in warm temperatures. Like ASU is obviously super awesome at football, and they're selling out games, and so we got to make sure that our dogs are getting really good sweeps in before all those games, and that they're fighting through the heat if they need to. We're giving them breaks when they need to as well. We also look for like them being social, like how Belle is right now. We don't want them to hate people, because obviously if you work at a university and you hate people,
not a good thing.
It doesn't matter if you're a dog or a police officer. You're probably not in the right profession, right?
Yep.
So we look for a bunch of different things when we look at these dogs, and Belle, she fit almost all these categories. So she obviously loves people. She has a great work ethic, and she loves her tennis ball.
Are there different, do you patrol all the campuses, or will we find you downtown? I think we interviewed you there on Move-In Day, right?
So
Dominique was out there. Do you kind of surprise people and
so normally we work at the Tempe campus because that's where our main events and a lot of the students and populace are, but we get sent to all the other campuses as need be. But we primarily work out of the Tempe campus over there. But we're always at every other campus.
Yeah.
So we're always out and about, but majority of the time we're at the Tempe campus because that's where the majority of events are held.
Wherever you're needed.
Yeah, wherever we're needed.
We love it.
And Belle, thank you.
Thank you guys so much.
You guys, we will wrap it up. The Blondes Who Babble.
We'll be back on Thursday for sure.
Yeah, Danielle's back with me.
We'll see.
And then Ty will be back next Wednesday. Des and Ron are heading in right now.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, you guys. So it is 11:30 here at the Fox 10 Talks studio, and we still have our poll question up. The question of the day today has been a little bit heavier, given all of the crime that we've seen in Chicago unfolding over the long weekend. So right now, we still want you guys to cast your vote and let us know what you think here this morning. So you can see your options. But we start with the question. More than 54 people now shot in Chicago over the Labor Day weekend. So is it time to send in the National Guard? 66% of you say yes, it cut crime in D.C., and it will do the same in Chicago. 25% believe no, the city does not want them. The president needs to back off. And 9% think Chicago should be willing to give it a try, politics aside. And reading more on what has unfolded in Chicago, we are expected to hear from Governor Pritzker at some point today. I believe he's having a press conference around, I think, 4 p.m. Chicago time. So that would be about 1 o'clock here in Arizona. So he is expected to address the public on all that has unfolded over the long holiday weekend. So, of course, we will wait to see what he has to say. He, has kind of been pushing back against President Trump on X, making statements saying that they don't want the National Guard, nor do they want support from the president. One of his posts from about 5 days ago on X was, "We do not need or want you here, Donald." That was from Pritzker. But again, we are set to hear from him at some point today. And of course, we will be following that for you, so you can stay with us here on the stream and on television as well. Ron, we were just going over the poll question that we had from today, because obviously we've had a lot of violence and issues unfold in Chicago over the weekend.
Yeah, no kidding. And we've been given a heads up that there is some sort of major statement coming from the White House.
Yes, and then Pritzker is supposed to speak too.
Yeah. So, please join us for that. Matter of fact, Des, since we're already talking about that, by the way, very happy to join the Desiree Fluellen show for the first couple of minutes.
I wasn't going to out you.
Well, it's fine.
I was stalling while Ron made it to the studio.
Like, totally engrossed in another news story that we're following.
I wasn't going to say anything, but
can you hear me okay?
Can you guys tell when we're stalling a bit?
Yeah. Testing.
I can
1,
hear
2.
you. Yeah.
You can hear me. Okay,
yeah.
I can.
Yeah.
You know what? How about, will you plug this?
Yeah, you want to use this other one?
Yeah.
Let me see.
There's a spot right over there. Oh, love it.
How's that?
Oh, way better.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Since we're on that topic, I was saying earlier that it feels as though one of the things that we're a little bit guilty of here in the media is that we're very numbers focused, and we lose track of the fact that, yes, more than 50 people were shot, some of them young people. The youngest was 14 this weekend in Chicago.
So sad.
The oldest was 50. But Dave did a great job and actually pulled up a lot of the research of the people, the individuals who are being impacted by this, families being impacted in many cases when there are fatalities. So I just thought that I would share just a few of those stories coming in. For example, this is from Saturday. It's around 7:30 in the evening. A 43-year-old woman was standing outside. It's a warm part of the year there in Chicago. 5 men came up on foot, took out their guns, and shot her. She was rushed to the Advocate Christ Medical Center in Oak Lawn, where she was pronounced dead. So that was one. There are so many. At 10 that evening, a 17-year-old girl was just sitting quietly in her home, inside her house, on South Wolcott Avenue, when shots rang out and she felt the pain and realized she had just been hit in the left arm while she was inside her house. She was taken to Advocate Christ Medical Center, where it looks like she'll live. About 15 minutes later, 7 people were shot just a block or two away from the Chicago Public Safety Headquarters. So police said a vehicle with a bunch of men inside was coming down the block, and they opened fire on a whole crowd of people. 28-year-old woman was shot in the leg. Most people came out of it in good condition, but some of the others are in more serious condition. So that happened 15 minutes after the previous shooting. And then on Sunday, there was a 16-year-old boy in the middle of the afternoon walking on South Wentworth Avenue. I wish I knew more about Chicago so I knew where these streets were. Somebody opened fire on a 16-year-old while he was just walking down the street, middle of the day, broad daylight, 4 in the afternoon. He was rushed to, they hit him in the stomach. He was rushed to the University of Chicago Children's Hospital, but it doesn't look good for him. He's in pretty bad shape there. Around 5 that same afternoon, so let's see, that was 4:18. About 45 minutes later, a 17-year-old boy walking down the sidewalk. Somebody just came up and shot him. He'll live. He went to St. Anthony's Hospital. They have all these different hospitals. And then one more around 7 that evening. A 26-year-old woman was just in front of a home. She gets into an argument with another woman, pulls out a gun and opens fire. The victim was rushed to the University of Chicago Hospital where she was pronounced dead. So these are the stories behind the individuals. And yeah, I'm glad that you brought up the poll question, Des. Let's also look at the YouTube poll question, because frequently we get a little bit of a different twist. And by the way, we're reminding you, when you cast your vote in that poll question, just as in the other question, look, 76 comments, and Dave goes in there and he really gets a chance to share some of your feedback on that. 46% are saying, I think it is time to bring in the National Guard. It worked in D.C. It'll cut down crime in Chicago. I realize D.C. is a completely different animal than all the other cities in America because it is a federal district, which basically has direct supervision from Congress and from the executive. But almost the equal amount, over 40% now are saying, look, if the city doesn't want them, the president needs to back off. And then kind of down the middle, 13% say maybe they should just give it a try and see if it works, put politics aside. So, you know, I think most of us who are tourists, if we ever go to Chicago, we're in the touristy areas, you know, down on the lakefront. It's beautiful. You know, you go up and down Michigan Avenue, those kind of things. But I guess there are some parts of the city where they really are dealing with it. And we're going to keep track. In fact, Dave, if you get any kind of a heads up from the White House, I'm just wondering if this is going to be the primary statement from the president. We don't know yet, right?
Well, that's been the big rumor, right? He's supposed to make some big announcement today
about Chicago, possibly.
Right.
And well, if Pritzker's going to be speaking right afterwards, then that would make sense, right?
Yeah, I saw it around 4 p.m. Chicago time, or Eastern time.
Okay.
So if that still stands, it's about 1 o'clock our time.
Okay. All right. Mm-hmm. We're going to keep track of it, but it's certainly one of the big stories this morning. Now, let's talk just a little bit about yesterday's weather. What was your sitch, Des? What was your sitch?
You know what? Luckily, we got lucky. We didn't get the worst of it. We just got some sprinkles.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And the kids were like, I don't know they're getting old enough. I guess they're aware of the weather outside.
Yeah.
Because usually they sleep through the storms, but not so much lately.
Oh,
and then,
really?
Yeah. And then my daughter Dior, when she saw the sprinkles on the window, she goes, Mommy, it's a storm. Oh, a storm.
Oh,
no storm.
Yeah. What did they think about?
Okay.
What did they think about the big dust storm a week ago?
Two of them were in the pool, and they kind of watched it roll in. David let them watch it. And he goes, when it gets to whatever point, we got to get out of the pool. And it got to that point, they were like, Dad, it's time to go.
Okay, so this, to me, I thought this was the best video. I'm going to just roll this. This came in from down there around Casa Grande, Maricopa area. So Selena Gallagher was just kind of shooting the video, and watch what happens here.
Oh my God.
Well, she's shocked. The neighbors, it's funny because you move into some of these neighborhoods and a eucalyptus tree and some of the other trees, we got palo verdes, etc., they grow so fast. You can have a neighborhood that's only 10 or 15 years old, and you got 30-foot trees out there.
And that looks like a Palo Verde.
Yes, it does.
Those tend to, a lot of those, right? A lot of them snap like that.
Yeah.
But being an adult, Ron, this breaks my heart.
Why?
Because to replace that, that's going to be expensive. Like things you don't think about when you're not a homeowner.
And you know,
but it's going to be expensive to replace that tree.
Yeah, and we should probably be talking more about Maricopa because they're in the line of the storms. I saw a video last night on YouTube. In fact, I'm going to meet with Dave here and suggest we get a hold of this gal. She tracked the big storm a week ago. She tracked it all the way from south of Tucson. She and her husband are in their car. They're kind of like storm chasers, and they're trying to stay ahead of it through Tucson and Picacho Peak and all the way through Eloy and Casa Grande, all the way up to the valley.
Wow.
It's really interesting to see how these things develop.
It is. It's very cool.
Because it really just starts with that one down shaft, whether it's rain or just the way the winds are moving, and it starts to sweep across the desert floor. Here's one other shot of what it was like just trying to drive through it right here in the valley. This is out in the East Valley. I mean, the windshield wipers are doing their best to try to keep up. But yeah, that's what folks were having to deal with, and we had areas in town. Now, I will just say, out where I was, which was way out east there, out in Apache Junction, had a little pizza party going with the grandkids. Yes.
Hey, right. You delivered.
Yeah, I did. I did actually deliver the Dominoes. But when I got in my car about an hour later, it was 77 degrees.
Oh, that was nice.
Oh, yeah.
So that's like the big payoff.
Right. Yeah, that's why we actually love these storms. But
you got to get a dash cam, Ron. I'm surprised you don't have one.
Oh, dash cam. Yeah, that actually would be really good. Well, this has been the summer to do it, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, coming up next, if you want to live the luxury lifestyle, you are in the right place right here in the Valley of the Sun. We have that story coming up. We'll tell you they actually have been ranking cities across America. And one part of the valley definitely made the list, so that's coming up. If you guys feel like jumping in and guessing on our mystery cam, you can as well. Let's see. Yeah, Jen's Wall is saying she's ready for a little bit of snow this year, as crazy as it all is. And Dave says, look, Hooner, Domino's delivers. You don't have to go pick it up. Okay, we'll be right back. All right, everybody. You can guess if you want. We are getting some guesses in. And this is our second mystery cam of the day. I know you don't really do fantasy football. I tried to recruit you into our little workplace
I know.
fantasy.
Sorry. I just leave that to my husband.
But he does do it, right?
Yeah, he plays.
Okay, so I did it last night, and I got Saquon Barkley.
Ooh.
Ask me why I've been walking with the spring in my step today.
Okay. All right. Watch out for Ron Hoon then if you're in his league.
Okay. So let's see. We have.
I like these guesses.
Patricia and Jared are both saying Hawaii. Let's go back and look. Does it look kind of, with those palm trees, it does look kind of Hawaii-ish. I'm trying to think where else. I guess it could be Florida. Palm Tree Central. But, now we have international cameras. That could be the Bahamas, for goodness sakes.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's true.
Okay.
I don't know.
All right.
Well, I've been to the Bahamas. I don't think it looks like the Bahamas. I'm going to go Hawaii.
Okay.
I like that.
All right. I'm going to go with Arizona Blondie
Patricia.
Crazy Crew, California.
California. Are we allowed to sing on the stream? Or
No, I don't
we
think
still
so.
Pay
But
for the song?
we only did like 4 syllables, so I think we're
Right.
fine. Let's see what the answer is, Des.
Okay, it is. Ooh, Hilo, Hawaii.
Oh, hello, Hilo. I wonder if that's their slogan. If not, you guys can take it. We just come up with the ideas. Hello, Hilo. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Aloha.
Oh, see, over here on the, What was that, Bella? Time for a Bella
Isabella.
bomb. What'd you say?
They would say aloha, Hilo.
Hello. Oh, that's right. Nobody is
Right,
allowed to
that's
say
true.
hello over there. It has to be aloha.
Oh,
Coming or
true,
going.
true.
Okay. Anyway, Scottsdale just made the list of the top 10 most luxurious cities in the United States. Everybody, look, we're flying right over Scottsdale now. So they came up with the most luxurious cities. And some of these, I think it's not a shock. Irvine, California, San Francisco, Miami.
Welcome to Miami.
Jersey City, New Jersey
Really?
is number 1 on the list.
I don't know. That.
Yeah, I don't
I'm
know
a little
about
surprised
this.
by that.
Now, Scottsdale scored lower in education because I think basically you have Scottsdale Community College and that's about it. Seattle, for example, at number 6, you've got the University of Washington, one of the more prestigious schools in the country. Washington has got Georgetown. So you've got really prestigious there.
Yep.
So they need a major university and then they can be number 1 in this survey. But they did do really well in luxury real estate, entertainment, beauty. Apparently they have a lot of beautiful people.
Oh,
in
is that what it
Scottsdale.
meant? Or did it mean
Beauty.
like there's a spa in every corner?
Probably that. Well-being also could be a spa on every corner.
Yeah.
But also fine dining. I remember reading.
Yeah, there's a lot of good.
I
places to
remember
dine.
reading a piece from some lady. I think she was based on the East Coast, and her story was something like Arizona in the desert, known for 5-star dining. What? And I'm like, lady, come on out here and spend a little bit of time. Right?
Did she? Did she take you up on that?
No, I mean, I was just speaking to my phone. She didn't hear me.
Oh,
But,
okay.
but I mean, people who think we're just a desert wasteland out here have never
like
spent
you clearly
any time.
have never been to visit.
Truly, some of the great restaurants, I think, anywhere in the country.
So it's so funny. Before I moved here, I had been here once with my mom.
Yeah.
I don't even remember how old I was. I was young,
Mhm.
and she all I knew of Arizona from her was it's so dirty and dusty.
Oh, yeah?
Because we were in our hotel room, and I remember she made me keep our little house shoes on or socks, and they were black because the dust or whatever. And she goes, "No, it's so dusty."
Oh, gosh.
So she goes, "You're moving where?" And now she likes it.
Yeah. I actually remember talking to my Uncle Buck. There was once a movie called Uncle Buck years ago.
really?
Yeah.
No,
and
I
I
did
had a
not
real
know
life
that.
Uncle Buck, and he was such a cool guy. He was a Navy man in World War II. He had such a great sense of humor. And Renee and I are driving the U-Haul to come down to move to Phoenix. And he said, the thing I remember about Phoenix is the streets are very wide. And I'm like, really? And then I get down here and I'm like, you're right. There's like 3 lanes going north, 3 lanes going south, a bike lane, a center lane.
Wow.
You know, compare that to driving around, I don't know, Boston or Philadelphia or a lot of other cities.
Yeah, right. Everything's tight.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so nobody won the lottery. We are all working today. Although, Des, I'm going to take the pledge. I'm not going to quit if I win the lottery.
You would. You would. I wouldn't.
Oh, okay. Hold on, everybody. We are going to go straight to the White House. We just heard President Trump is speaking now. Let's go there, see what it is.
Representatives Barry Moore, all great friends, Robert Adderholt, Gary Palmer, and Dale Strong. Thank you all very much, fellas. Appreciate it. In my first term, I created a thing called Space Force, so important. You know, we were losing the race in space very badly to China and to Russia, and now we're far and away #1 in space, and reestablished Space Com with a mission to protect American space assets and detect any threat to our homeland. We initially selected Huntsville for the Spacecom headquarters, yet those plans were wrongfully obstructed by the Biden administration. And as you know, they moved them to a different locale. And today we're moving forward with what we want to do and the place that we want to have this. And this will be there for hopefully hundreds of years. That's where it's going to be. I will say I want to thank Colorado. The problem I have with Colorado, one of the big problems, they do mail-in voting. They went to all mail-in voting. So they have automatically crooked elections. And we can't have that. When a state is for mail-in voting, that means they want dishonest elections because that's what that means. So that played a big factor also. In Huntsville, Spacecom will play a key role in building the Golden Dome, as you know. That's going to be a big thing. Everybody wants to be a participant in it. Missile Defense Shield, we're going to be having a Golden Dome that the likes of which nobody's ever seen before. The finest, the best. And by the way, Canada called. They want to be a part of it, and that'll be great. But Canada wants very much to be included in that, and then we're going to work something out with them, I hope. It will also ensure that our technological capabilities, of which we're way ahead of anybody else, there's nobody close, remain unmatched long into the future. So I'd like to ask Secretary Hegseth to say a few words. He was very much a part of it. And really, everybody behind me was. Every one of these people would call me and lobby me. I said, Katie, I don't want to talk to you anymore. I know what you want. She said, that's right, sir. That's what I want. And they got their way. So I just want to congratulate. These are really special people. They're politicians in many ways, but they're great patriots, I think even more so than politicians. So they fought very hard to get it, and it's an honor to give it to Huntsville. Pete, say a few words, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. As usual, right place, right time, for the right reason. In your first administration, you established the Space Force at a time when we knew we had to be looking to that domain of space. You also reestablished Spacecom to ensure that priority was put in place, and you, through the Air Force, independently identified that Huntsville, Alabama was the right place to put it. For other reasons, in the next administration under Biden, they decided to move it somewhere else. Well, during that time, the DoD Inspector General, the Government Affairs Office, they did their own assessments, and where did they say Spacecom should go? Huntsville, Alabama. So what you're doing today, Mr. President, is restoring it to precisely where it should be based on what the Space Force, the Air Force, your leadership believes will give us strategic advantage in the future. That is Huntsville, Alabama. We are way ahead in space, but this will ensure we stay leaps and bounds ahead because that's the most important domain. Whoever controls the skies will control the future of warfare. And Mr. President, today you're ensuring that happens. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Katie, would you like to say something?
Mr. President, we are grateful for your leadership on this and restoring Space Command to its rightful home in Huntsville, Alabama. This delegation has worked together, both chambers, both parties, to make sure that Huntsville was the place that Space Command called home. As was mentioned, obviously the Biden administration chose to make this political. What we want to do is put the safety and security of Americans first. We want to make sure that our war fighter is put first, and we want to make sure that America America continues to lead. And today, Mr. President, you've allowed that to happen. Thank you.
Okay, so there is your update, the announcement coming in. Now, this is really fascinating to me, Des, because Huntsville really was headquarters for the space program in the 1960s. And my wife's dad was actually part of that huge group of engineers that was transferred from Boeing in Seattle to Huntsville, Alabama, to work on the Saturn V rocket project to try to put a man on the moon.
Really?
In the moonshot back in the 1960s.
So what was he an engineer?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So they brought in like the greatest minds. It was the whole age of the space race.
Mm-hmm.
The Russians had launched Sputnik, and all of a sudden America woke up one day and said, "Holy cow, we are behind in the space race." But literally, I mean, it was like all hands on deck, and hundreds of engineers and others moved to Huntsville, and they have a big kind of a touristy space force type thing that you can go to today.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a feather in the cap for Huntsville, Alabama, that's for sure.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this is making its return. So there you go.
Okay. I'm sure there'll be a lot more talk about that as the day goes on. Now we're almost out of time, but I did just want to mention, because we promised we were going to talk about it, the lotto is going to grow. Are you guys ready for this? I don't know if you've heard the number. The new estimate for the next drawing, because we had no winner last night, is $1,300,000,000. And if you just walk into the office with the correct winning ticket, and you want the lump sum, they'll write you out a check for $589 million.
Ooh,
yeah.
I'll take it.
So I think somewhere we might even have, this is risky, but let me pop this up right here. Yeah, there we go. The red ball was 5. Here are the other winning numbers, 8, 23, 25, 40, and 53. They haven't had a winner in, 30 or 40. I think it's about 40 drawings, but I'm sure you've thought it through, Des. Where are you going to stash your money? What are you going to spend it on if you win?
I'm buying a new house.
You are?
The first thing. Oh, yeah.
Would you move to luxury Central Scottsdale? Or are you
know what? I could with that kind of cash.
Right. So you could buy an entire neighborhood in Scottsdale.
With baby number 4, we need some extra room. So, what would you buy?
You could have a lifetime supply of diapers. I do know that.
That's true, too.
For whenever baby number 5 comes along.
You know what? I would have baby number 5 if I win the lotto.
There you go.
Ron, what are you buying?
Your family is so beautiful.
Thank you.
Let's see. I guess I would get some kind of a little island getaway somewhere.
Oh, now that's smart. Yeah.
Just to like a little place on the beach.
Okay.
Maybe,
like your own private island? You'd buy the whole island?
No, I'm willing to share with the people of Hilo, Hawaii.
Okay.
I'll just get one of those little
See if you can
spots
get a
right
space
there.
on there.
Oh, for goodness sakes. We already have to say goodbye. It always goes so fast, Des. But great hanging out with you. Thank you guys for watching, especially all 2 hours. Fox 10 Talk comes back tomorrow. Des, we got to say our goodbyes.
Yes, bye. See you guys tomorrow.